chat like we can't chit chat.
Yeah, that's the rule. No having a good time.
Yeah, no
No,
chit
like
chat on this podcast.
No, we're anti chit chat.
I
Hmm.
don't know if this is the podcast for me.
Yeah, you're on the wrong podcast.
Stuck here now.
No one wants chit chat.
Welcome back to Indie Spunk Unfiltered. My name is Izzy Stevens,
I'm Beck Benyon.
and we have a very special guest with us today, whose name is.
Gemma Scoble.
Make you say your own name. Um, I was just enforcing the no pre-recording chit chat rule because there was a lot of good chat happening right before the record button was hit. Proceed, guys.
Proceed back to the
Action.
chit chat as
Yeah.
you
Well,
were.
you were talking about how you got your hair lightened back.
Yeah,
And it
got my
looks really
hair
good.
lightened a couple weeks ago.
Okay, looks
Feeling
great.
feeling summer ready.
We
Feeling
call it a blonde. Is that a
yeah,
blonde?
it's the what did my stylist call it? A California brunette.
Okay,
Oh,
so blonde.
oh.
Blonde.
It's like
Yeah.
being California sober, but you're a California brunette.
Yes, California brunette. Yeah. Because
I
there's
love
actually
it.
quite a lot of brown in there that you can't see because it's so light.
It is so light. It looks great though. Every
It looks
time
great. It
Beck
looks
gets
really
her hair
good.
done, it grows out like a treat.
Yeah, I'm a once a year
Once a year.
hair getter doner.
So good. I haven't had mine done in forever. I really need to go. Who do you go to, Beck?
I go to this wonderful woman named Liz Rexroth. She's in West Hollywood. Her studio is called Strand, and I've been going to her for 6 years, and I love her so much because I can go there once a year. And it's so funny because when I went this time around, I was like, I know I haven't been here in a year. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, don't be mad at me. And she was like, your color looks amazing. I'm like, yeah, it does.
Thanks to you.
You're like, you did
Yeah.
it.
So it's funny. I was like getting compliments on my color like a month before I went and got it redone. I was like, I haven't got my hair done. She's the best. Like very lived in
Yeah.
color.
Always the way, always the way. Oh,
Hmm.
Izzy, you and I are both in the toxic relationship with Bob's.
Oh yeah, it's the
Yeah.
bob. It's the bob. What is it? Cycle? The cycle of the
Yeah.
bob.
Bob game's strong though. You guys both rock the bobs.
We're in an anxious avoidant relationship with Bob's.
I know. I keep thinking, oh, I think it's probably I'm probably gonna grow it out now,
I know.
and then
I'm
it
in that
comes
place
back.
in case you can't tell.
You have actually surpassed
Am
the
I past
awkward.
Bob right now?
Yeah, you are, and but
You're
you're
Okay.
like
also
at
past
lob
the
now.
awkward phase. Like you're not.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, I actually this is one of the things that I will Google late at night, like pictures of people going through the phase of growing out their bob. Yeah, that's one of my late night Googles. Wait,
I'm
let's give context. So
Yeah.
we've got a special guest Gemma Scoble on the podcast today. Gemma is a dear friend of mine, very OG Spunk client. In fact, we
Mhm.
didn't know each other before you were my client first.
Yeah,
Um,
I pretty much I think we'd met
yeah,
like once or twice
we
through
met once or
Ellie, through our
twice through
mutual
Ellie.
friend.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then we started working together. You wrote this script.
Hmm.
This was years ago, and I mean, we'll get into it, but even back then I was like, this is brilliant and has to get made. Um, and then cut to, it's always about timing years later. Obviously, you're a client, but then you became one of my best, closest friends who I like adore beyond
Likewise,
anything.
likewise.
Yeah, love you so much. Dear friend. And then you came back and went, Izzy, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's make this thing.
Yeah.
And so we're making a film. We're making a short film called
Mhm.
Survival Job that Gemma has written. It is brilliant. We're going to talk about it. We're currently crowdfunding, which is going really well. And we thought, what a perfect time to come on the podcast because we're looking at shooting in about a month and a half. So
Yeah.
it's a great time to talk about the film and you
Mhm.
and what we're
Mhm.
doing and just like the building blocks of making a short that's, has a lot of you in it, but also
Yeah.
being, I think what I love about this project is that you're so not afraid to take reality um and make it fiction, make it story, make it
Mm.
meaningful, make it impactful. It doesn't have to be like this is exactly what happened. It has to be
For
true to the
sure, for
event because
sure.
of course that's you haven't gone through what this character goes through to the
Yeah.
letter in the script, um yeah,
Wh-
I just love
Which
your
has
character.
taken some time to get there, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say the early iterations of the script were a lot closer to the things that have happened in my life. But I've come to realize that maybe that's just a really natural place to start the writing process and the
Yeah.
creative process, particularly when you're approaching it from an acting perspective, as I am.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, it's definitely taken a couple of drafts to kind of get there, and it's taken some time and some distance from my own life and conversations with you where we've gone, okay, well, what if she's not Australian, for instance? You know, we
Mm.
don't all like, it's so funny. I was in an acting class the other day and I was working in an American accent, and they were saying to me, well, this character could be Australian. Like, you know, you can just be an Aussie in this. And I was like, yeah, for sure. But also, like, I want,
Yeah, and
I
I
want
want
to
to
play someone outside
expand.
of
Yes.
myself. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
So, you know, making the decision to make her American now, and like from the Midwest and that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. So I'm really like happy we've made those decisions now. It's becoming something that's outside of myself, and I can now hopefully approach it with fresh eyes as an actor, having now written it as well.
Yes,
Mhm.
so good. I just completely agree with you with needing to get into the voice, especially in an acting class of other
Mm.
dialects and characters and accents, because I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
Australia, I was reading with Ellie, one of our mutual dear friends, for an audition yesterday that was Australian, and it was so fun, first of all, because I forget, like I do
Yeah.
all the scenes I do are American accent. So I was, acting in an Australian accent, going, oh my God, this is so nice. Like, this is just how I talk. And it reminded me of how um, delivery, even writing, like delivery in an Australian accent is so different to delivery in an American
Mhm.
accent.
I
And I
completely
think that's also why I can always hear if that is an Australian person speaking an American accent. Like I
totally.
feel
Yeah.
like I have such a
You've
filter
got,
about
you've
it.
the filter for it. You've got the
Mm,
like the radar for your ear is
yeah.
trained to hear it.
Because we say things, we have a completely different cadence. We have a
Hmm.
very different way of delivery. We have a kind of rounded, I'm using my hand, no one's probably watching YouTube. The people who aren't watching YouTube don't know what I'm doing, but I'm like, it's like there's a different curve to the sound of it.
Mhm.
um anyway, so I just think it's really important that you exercise that.
Yeah.
Same,
That's my
same.
TED talk.
Yeah. No, even early versions of James on Rage, there was a couple
Yeah.
pieces where we were like, we need to make that a little bit more American. Like this is reading
Yeah.
very
We had
Australian.
didn't
And
we have someone tell us that, especially in the first? They were like,
yes, yeah,
Are
I think
you're Australian, right?" Like I
yeah,
could tell, and I'm
I
like,
could tell.
"Damn."
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
whoa.
because we'll say things like, I don't know. There's just like
Yeah.
American. I always say Americans have. God, I'm coming back. I'm coming back around the mountain, guys. I'm off topic, but I'm coming
We're
back. But
gonna
like,
get there.
Americans have these like funny things that they add in to soften
Mhm.
the intensity of what they're saying. So, someone won't give you an instruction and say sit on the seat. They'll say you can go ahead and sit on the seat. Like they're going
Hmm.
to soften it
Oh,
with this
interesting.
like language before they tell you what to do, because America, I feel like for the most part, Americans want to be really palatable and nice and not ruffle feathers, and like that's kind of a
Hmm.
thing, especially in service industries. So
Yeah.
in Australia, we're not like that at all. We'd be like, oh yeah, sit on your bum. Like it's all that's us being soft and friendly. So we have just a different way of delivering things anyway. So I could talk about this. This is not what the podcast is supposed
Yeah.
to be about.
No, I
Bringing
love
it
it.
back to Survival Job, though, I
Yes.
think one of
Yeah.
the things that I was so drawn to when I first read it was it's such a different, it's not what I was expecting at all. And it's such a different way to showcase your talent as an actor
Mm,
when creating a short. I mean, this happens all the time. An actor goes to write a short so that they can showcase their acting work, and they oftentimes play it very safe.
Yeah.
They want to, put themselves in a really perfect light, which I think
mm,
obviously that's our first instinct. Like we want to be the best
Yeah.
version of ourselves. But this role, I think, is a really challenging role, and the context and the subject matter of the film is really challenging and really confronting. And I think
Mm.
that's such a brave way to go about making a short. And, last year I was sitting in a bunch of different short programs and festivals because I had a couple of friends who had shorts, and It's really hard to stand out as a short. It's really, really hard. And so I think when Izzy and I go to make these short films, we do consider like, is this going to be something that we can get programmed? And as soon as I read Survival Job, I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like this will get programmed. This is exactly what programmers are looking for. This is confronting. This is darker than expected, but also has some humor in it. The visuals of the world are so clear. It kind of gives me, a little bit of Tarantino vibes, honestly, in some parts of it. And yeah, I'm just really excited to get this out in the world. And I think it's beautifully done, Gemma.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. And I on what you're saying about it being a kind of surprising way to kind of enter the world of filmmaking from an acting perspective. I don't think and maybe, this is to my detriment, I don't think I've necessarily ever thought of this project as being a way to like quote unquote showcase my talent. If that happens, awesome. Like that's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and I think it's
But
important that you come from that
Hmm.
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think what I've just always considered this to be is my first foray into filmmaking
Yeah.
Hmm.
that will hopefully, if I don't, traumatize myself and you guys throughout the process, be just one of many films that I make over the years.
100%.
So
But also,
that,
we're basically talking about the distinguishing factor between an artist who's there to build repertoire and a producer who's thinking, is this like, what can I do with this to really support the team? So, I mean,
Yep.
100%.
I feel like you guys are just wearing your crowns right now. Like,
Yeah.
producer crown
Yeah.
on Beck,
Yeah.
writer, actor on Gemma. Because
Yeah.
I think this is so much to do, Gemma, with the way you see the world, the way that you've processed your experience moving from Australia to LA. And I want to make sure that we clue our audience in if they're not aware of what Survival Job's about, because maybe they haven't looked at the crowdfund campaign or maybe they haven't watched the
Yeah.
pitch video. So, what's does anyone want to dive in? Like, what's it about, or do you want me to? Who wants to talk? Gemma, do you want to say what it's about?
Yeah. I can. So, Survival Job follows the story of Gracie. So, she's an aspiring actress. She's originally from the Midwest, but like a lot of us, she's moved out to LA to pursue her dreams. But like a lot of us, it's not, a super easy path to, that happening. She doesn't have the family money. She doesn't have like all of the connections yet. Also, she's not a spring chicken necessarily. She's not, this 19-year-old coming out with, a couple of series regs under her belt or anything like that. So Gracie, she moves out here to pursue her dream of becoming an actress, and she gets this survival job working, and it's quite a specific survival job, but she's working selling bottled water to supermarkets. So this is where the story does intercept in real life.
Fully align with your
Fully,
experience of
yeah,
life. Yeah.
yeah. So this is actually a job that I had in the pandemic where I would drive around like the entire city. I would go from like Inglewood to like Oxnard to Riverside, like you name it. And I would walk into these supermarkets, into like 7-Elevens, into whatever, and try to get them to buy this water that I was, the brand that I was repping. Um, so yeah, so she's working this job selling bottled water into supermarkets. And we're basically like following a day in her life. And what happens ultimately is that she witnesses an act of violence that is really indicative of life in America. And
Such a good way to put that.
yeah, and it's also kind of indicative of the time. So we're setting this in a slightly dystopian LA, but is it?
It's basically like now.
It's
Yeah.
basically like now. When I wrote this like 4 years ago, was it 4 years ago? Is
Yeah, it was about almost 5 years ago. Yeah.
almost 5. Yeah. So when I wrote it, I was like, oh, this is like it's slightly, a bit more dystopian than now. And now we're
Yeah.
here. I'm like, oh God,
Fuck.
You
this is where
predicted
we
the
are.
future.
It actually feels very, yeah. It's like, yeah, it was dystopian 5 years ago, and now we're in the
Now we're
reality
here.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's what I love about the style as well is that, like that you mentioned Tarantino. I feel like it leans more into it's all yeah, it's interesting to think about Tarantino's style placed into like a Sean Baker film, because it's
Hmm.
very like
Yeah.
slice of life,
Yeah.
kind of a fly on the wall, day in the life situation. and you're kind of following these characters. And I like that you say the beating heart of the city, because that's really what it feels like. There's,
Yeah.
the workers, the minimum wage workers, the people who are kind of making shit run. And that's what's so cool about it being set in a supermarket, and you kind of see this kind of world around you before what happens, which we won't spoil. Because otherwise, what's the point of watching a
That's the
film?
point.
But yeah, it's sharp, but it's also really considered. And that's what I think is true of you as a writer, Gemma. And I love that this is, yes, I'm so excited for people to see you act, because I just love you. You are so magnetic on screen. And I'm really excited for this also to be, a blueprint of your writing, because you
Mhm.
are such a sharp mind. You have such a great mind.
Oh,
And
thank you.
you're kind of you're my North Star when it comes to making sure I'm also like, actually all of my best friends, like, you guys are all such readers. And
Oh.
you guys, I remember one day, the- kind of like really putting you on blast here, but I remember one day you were like, Gemma, you said something like, you can tell that they don't read books. You said something
Oh
about
my
like,
God, did I
you were
say
like,
that?
yeah, you were like, this,
I love that.
it was a critique of a movie. You're like, I can tell that the writer doesn't read books. And I was like, fuck, that's so true. Like,
Oh
you can
no.
really tell when people haven't thought, it's not really that they haven't read. It's like, let's all consider the world. Like, let's
Mhm, mhm.
be curious about the different sides. Let's have these different opinions. Let's be educated about, people's different ways of life and different
Yeah.
experiences of life, because that's what makes you a great artist. That's what makes you a great artist, Gemma.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. And I'm also so sorry to whoever I was talking about.
I'm gonna start
Sorry.
using that as an insult. Like you can tell they don't read.
Sorry.
That's as bad as it gets, isn't
I
it?
mean,
I
but
love
also
it.
it was pretty warranted. I think it was actually, we won't talk about the film that it was, but we had all seen a film together and we were all very
Um,
upset about it.
Yeah, it's true.
yes, I do.
Recently.
I do
I
Wait,
remember.
was
remember
that for
that.
the recent film?
Yes, that was,
Ah,
we were
yeah.
standing in the car park talking about it. But
Yes.
listener,
Yes.
dear listener, get us drunk. One day we might tell you exactly what
Yeah.
it
That
was.
would be Indie Spunk Unfiltered, Unfiltered.
Unfiltered, behind,
Unfiltered.
like, yeah, after hours.
After, yeah, after dark.
Oh
But
God,
it
that's
is true that I
yeah.
mean you're not able to create these worlds or even create the dialogue of these characters in any film unless you're well read, unless you're outside of the digital zeitgeist, you know? I think it's so important that we as artists are consuming other art in all forms, whether that's going to a museum and viewing paintings from now or from hundreds of years ago, whether it's like reading a book, fiction or nonfiction. I think there's so much to learn, even from like reading Substacks, you know, like reading long form art is so important. And this, I mean, your work is just an example of someone who's doing that really well.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I'm sitting here laughing because I live with like my fiance is
Yeah.
like I read, but he reads like a
Yeah.
book a week. So I'm I'm sitting here being like, you guys think I'm a reader? Like you've
You
seen my
are
house.
who
I'm
you
like
like,
swallowed in books.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you are who you surround yourself with as well, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So I think it collectively all we lift each other up through our collective reading.
Yeah,
I totally,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. That was
I
actually oh sorry, as you go.
Please, no, please.
I was gonna say that was a goal of mine for this year was to if I was going to like, watch content or, consume content that it be primarily long form. So it'd be primarily
Mm,
like YouTube or primarily Substack. Shout out to YouTube. I feel like I learn everything on there. Like I'm always like, how
yeah.
do I do that? I'll just YouTube it. But yeah, I think we have to be so careful in today's day and age to take care of our brains and our minds. And, you know, yeah, I think we need to challenge ourselves to like sit down and read an article that's like 10 pages long or read a chapter
Mm.
of a book. And some days, if I've been like letting myself have some TikTok or whatever, it like hurts. I'm
Yeah, to
like,
actually sit and read. And it's hard.
yeah.
It can get really hard for your brain.
Yeah, totally,
But you
totally.
know
But
what? I actually think that the thing that we all feel that we're also not saying, it's not just about like exercising our brains and reading. it's about empathy. And if we want to be
Mm,
artists, if we want to be people who are expressing ideas, not content creators, but
Mhm.
mm,
artists, right? Filmmakers, writers, people who AI can't replace, we have
yeah.
to have the ability to empathize more than anything else. And like that's what I feel when I look at this script, when I think about Survival Job. It's it's so rooted in empathy of all sides, and
Mm,
what a that's what reading gives us. Like that's really at the end of the day, it can be hard for our brains and we have to build it into our system. Like,
mm,
oh, I have a goal of reading this many books a year, and I do, and my God, I'm not winning against my goal right now. But yeah, it's about, and that's also why I like making films, right? Because
mm.
that's what empathy gets to be created from. Um, so that's why I'm gonna
I
come
love
off my TED
that.
talk. But yeah, it's empathy, babes, empathy.
Empathy. No, I think you're absolutely right. I think if we lack empathy and if empathy goes away, then what do we have?
Yeah.
You know, how do we care for each other? How do we consider one another? How do we, relate to one another? I think that's humanity in itself
Mm.
is through the road of empathy. And I
Yeah.
Empathy
think
is not found in the comments of a viral
no.
reel. Empathy
Mm.
is gone away, disappeared, never to be seen again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hard thing sometimes, but to like truly like listen to each other
Mm.
is like the most important thing in terms of having empathy, and then also in terms of creating art as well. Like
Hmm.
to truly sit and like listen to someone's story or to like take someone in, warts and all. Like I think that's where we have to create from,
Yeah,
but it's not always easy because it's confronting.
it's very
Hmm.
confronting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like we also, as people, and many of you guys listening, I'm sure relate to this. Like, you're a storyteller at heart. The reason that you want to be an actor is you want to tell stories. The reason you
Mm.
want to make films is you want to tell stories. I just think the medium is what's different. So for us to not be
Mm.
absorbing different stories in different capacities, like, I love the collective of making something. I like being active with my hands on set, actually making something. So that's why I want to make films and not just write them. That's why I like to direct, because it's about the collective storytelling. So, I think we have to kind of honor all of the different ways that stories get told, which is coming back to you going to galleries, Beck, what you were saying about going and
Mm.
seeing art, is that I so relate now more than I ever have. Like when I was a kid, going and learning about history and looking at art back then, I didn't connect. I didn't really care. I kind of performed it because I thought that's what you were supposed to do. But now
Hmm.
going to galleries and looking at art and thinking about the fact that I can actually connect to this person who I've never met, who I've never seen, who
Mm.
lived in a completely different time and completely different circumstances to me. That makes me feel alive. Like that makes me feel
Yeah.
like a connected human, and that's the shit we're missing, but being, so on our phones in content all the time.
Hmm.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally.
Hmm.
I love
Yeah.
I
we
sometimes
could
have
just talk
that
about
moment.
Survival Job, but I could
Oh,
like
that's okay.
drink a
We
whole
are,
glass.
we are, we are talking about it. I have that moment though sometimes in art galleries when I kind of, look at something and I realize that that person's hands like painted that,
Whoa.
and that's like the coolest thing ever. You're like, whoa, like you're just to think that they'd touched that at some stage, or
Mhm.
I don't know, like, we all live in our are all always like thrifting and going to like estate sales and stuff like that. And when you pick something up like at an estate sale that you're like, what life did you have? That if I could have a superpower, it might be like being able to like
Oh,
see through time of like
Yeah.
through like an object or something and see like all the places it's been and all the people it's interacted
Yeah.
with.
Imagine the room that they're sitting in while they're painting or while they're using that object. And yeah, I think it's so
Yeah.
beautiful and it gets you outside of yourself. And I think
Mm.
that's something that we're lacking so much in our modern day society is we're so like we're looking at ourselves all the time. We're comparing ourselves to
Yeah.
everybody else. We're
mm,
watching, I love a day in the life reel, but like I'm comparing and I'm like, oh, well, I don't have that, workout set that she's wearing, or I don't have this. And it's so like self
mm,
absorbed, and we
Mhm.
don't as much take the time to go to that museum and like think about other people. And I think just the nature that the fact that we're talking about this does go back to survival job. Like this is because we're talking
mm,
about this film, that's what's leading to all of these conversations that are so important to have. So,
mm.
yeah.
So true. And also the fact that we're, you know, when we right before we launched the crowdfund campaign, we were really talking about style, and I think this was very
Mhm.
much a initially we were really in the mind of this is this feels like now, this feels like a slice of life, this feels like reality, almost cinema verite, but moving into more of that. Yes, it has that like Sean Baker, Chloe Zhao kind of
Mhm.
slice of life vibe, but elevating to more of that like neo-realist
For
kind
sure.
of style, which is in so many ways like drawing inspiration from what we're talking about now, which is,
Mhm.
that this a cinema movement in the 40s and 50s where we were really looking at, story like slice of life stories of poor people, harsh economic realities, this kind of merging of different cinema styles to create something that feels really now and true to the experience that we feel like we're living in right now, even though it's stylistically and color wise sort of elevated.
Totally, totally. And I'm excited that we made that choice to
Mm.
kind of, we started at that, slice of life place. We started kind of going, oh my God, I want to make Tangerine. Well, Tangerine's already been made and it's incredible.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm glad that we've now moved to a place where we're taking all that influence with us while also it's allowing us to make like even more artistic choices,
Hmm.
Mm.
which I think is kind of what we're all talking about. It's like art is making a choice.
Yeah.
And sometimes as an artist, it's scary to make a choice. I think it's probably why I've taken so long to really like write something in my life and then commit to making it, because
Mm.
that involves me making like firm choices and standing by them. And sometimes I love to just like live in the unknown, live in like the loosey-goosey. But you guys have read Atomic Habits, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I felt like I was in good
You're
company.
in good
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about what James Clear says in Atomic Habits about, he sends two groups off. I think they're taking photographs, and one group has to take like as many photographs as possible
Oh yes.
in the semester, and
Mm.
the other group just has to take like one perfect photo. And kind of what he finds in the end is that the group who had to take as many photographs as possible, taking more interesting photographs
Hmm.
and arguably better photographs than the group who just had to take like the one perfect photo. And I think sometimes as creatives, as artists, we can be trying to make the one perfect photo to the point where we get like paralyzed and we don't kind of, make anything, or we make something that's, you know, but instead maybe we need to be trying to make 1,000 artistic choices
Hmm.
and seeing what is the outcome. Um,
Yeah. Oh,
and yeah, and kind of living with it as well, just being like, well, yeah, okay.
Hmm.
You know, yeah.
it's so you're so astute. It's the perfect analogy. And I think it's funny because or sad funny, I guess, because we live in such a hot button time
Mhm.
that people really are afraid to make their moves, make art that might be misinterpreted or, not
Yeah.
do well, or like, there's this expectation that whatever you say is exactly your stance forever. And
Hmm.
that's something
Yeah.
that's really difficult, I think, for artists to feel like they're allowed to express and it not mean everything about them. Like my opinion from 5 years ago is not necessarily my opinion from today. But if I put, a piece of art out 5 years ago that said something that that I disagree
Mhm.
with now, how like, how do I change that and how do I allow myself to evolve? So yeah, I feel like we're in a tricky time, and it's actually more important than ever that we do keep sharing and making and putting it out. And I just love that. Yes, this is your first, and this is a moment where you get to kind of draw a line in the sand and say, okay, well, I'm putting my work out there. I've been making it for a long time, and now I'm going to share it. But
Mhm.
also to let this be, as you say, like one of the many a portfolio that you're building, because the more we do make, the more permission that we do give ourselves to evolve our sense of opinion and evolve our point of view and find our point of view, really.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like have a creative arc with our
Yeah.
creativity in our
Hmm.
lives, which reminds me of something that someone said to me recently. I've had a million survival jobs in my life. Like
Mm.
I've done
You
every
really
single job.
have. You
I've had so many jobs, like to the point of like I, had a moment where I was like doing some comedy and I used to make jokes about it because yeah, like I've been a zookeeper. I've like,
Wait, what are some other survival jobs? You were literally in the car with me the other day being like, I'm gonna go
oh
clean
my God.
carpets.
Yeah, I was open to that. I was like, you know
Yeah,
what? Like,
could do that.
I love this so
But
much.
also,
I
like,
really,
this was like purely like you're so pure. Gemma's like, I really think I'd enjoy it. Like, I
I
really think I'd
do, I
enjoy
do.
like cleaning someone's carpet and then leaving it clean. Like,
Yeah,
Satisfaction.
so
I was
earnest.
I was thinking, I was like, I was imagining it. I was like, I could pull up
It's
at
gonna
their
be
house. I
good.
could I'd be like, hi, I'd greet them, put a podcast in, and then I'd like, get on the little machine and I'd just kind of like go back and forth. Um,
So good.
I think
Do you
I'd,
want to come do it at my house? You're
Yeah.
yeah, oh
welcome
my
to.
God, you can be my first customer. But I was talking to someone about, gosh, who was I talking to? It was one of my girlfriends. It was
Mhm.
my friend Steph. Hey Steph. Um and we were kind of talking about, having survival jobs as an artist and all that kind of stuff. And I think I used to feel some sense of embarrassment, I guess,
Yeah, of
or
course.
something like that. Like,
I think that's
and
normal.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's normal. And you'd catch up with people who maybe weren't pursuing like, a creative life and had found their calling, and that was, being a doctor or being a plumber or whatever it was, like, friends from your past, and people would kind of say like, oh, like, what are you up to now? Like, oh my God, you're always doing so many random things. And I would feel a level of embarrassment or like, oh, I'm a failure or like whatever. But I think now I'm just kind of viewing all of it as like a creative arc in my life.
100%.
Like that these are the things that are allowing me to make art and to pursue what I actually want. And I suppose, yeah, survival job is kind of like fitting into all of that beautifully. I don't fully know where I'm going with that, but
No,
it was
I couldn't
tremendous.
agree more. And I also think like let this be a love letter to our survival jobs because
Hmm.
I mean, I really believe that they're just so formative, so humbling, especially when
Mhm.
you see it as this is not forever. You kind of have to believe that to enjoy, I think, a survival job. It's like
Hmm.
this is not my thing forever. This is a side quest. This is and then for me, because before I started my business, I was same like working so many different survival jobs in my life and have I was a carer for a man with a motor neuron disorder who was partially
Wow.
paralyzed, and like I was 18 years old, and that was one of the most confronting. And I've got partial films written about these experiences of my life that I wouldn't have had if I weren't pursuing a creative life. That it's like, oh
Yeah.
well, I have to pay the bills and I have to pay rent and I have to figure out, so I'm going to take this job that's like an overnight nurse, and I'm not qualified for that, but okay, like that it's been offered to me, so I'm going to do that. And like there are so many ways that I got to a view into the world that I would never have gotten if I had followed if if I had just like been a trust fund baby and not had to
Yeah.
think about work. Like would I be as interesting an artist or
Mhm.
insightful or enjoy my art as much as I do because I've been able to go through all of these like life experiences. Not that trust fund babies can't do that. I'm sure that if I
No,
was
for
a trust
sure.
fund baby, I
Yeah.
think I'd still be like, let me play, let me play in mud. Like let me see what's up. You know?
Oh my God. I would be the best trust fund baby.
Yeah.
I would like
Same.
You're like, I'll sign up. I'm good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd share it.
Yeah.
Like
You actually, yeah.
yeah.
Of all, Gemma, you'd be like the anti-capitalist trust fund baby. I mean, survival job is like, not
Yeah, I'd
necessarily
be
anti-capitalist, but it's a comment on American
it's a comment
capitalism,
on late stage
late
capitalism
stage
for sure.
capitalism.
Yeah. And it's funny. I've had that conversation with some people who've donated to the crowdfunding campaign, and I'm aware of the irony of
Yes.
crowdfunding for a film that is like critical of capitalism while I'm crowdfunding for a film that is critical of capitalism.
So
And
good. But
I've
also,
had
I think it's actually the perfect vehicle because it's
Hmm.
crowdsourcing. You're coming
totally,
to a group of people to, it's like democratizing film in so many
Yeah.
ways. So
absolutely, absolutely. And I also think that we can question what we're a part of as well.
Hmm.
Like,
yes.
we don't necessarily get to choose the fact that we live in a capitalist society. Like,
Yeah.
short of moving to a socialist or a communist country, We don't really get to make that choice if we want to, be in America.
Hmm.
We can certainly take action and we can certainly make our voices heard and all of that kind of stuff. But I think that it's okay and probably somewhat important to like look at the system that we're in while we're inside of it as well.
Yes, because it doesn't
Mhm.
make us who we are. And that's also
Yeah.
why we've had people that have supported the film and really support you, Gemma, to say, don't forget, like I'm in this system too. And it's like, yeah, absolutely. And thank you
Yeah.
for you we can both exist coexist in this world
Mhm.
and also be curious about art, make like
100%.
be self-aware of the things that we do perpetuate. That doesn't make us good or evil. And that's what I really enjoy about not only making films, but this film in particular, which is that it's a comment on the gray area that we forget about because everything is so
Mhm.
hot button black and white. And it's like, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the gray areas in the middle of this extreme and that extreme and have more of a dialogue about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and I think
100%.
that's part of one thing that's beautiful about a capitalistic society is that there is opportunity to give
Yeah.
back to the arts, to donate your money in a way that's giving back to society, that's helping artists,
Yes.
that's creating, and so I think acknowledging that and thank you so much to all the people who have
Oh
donated to
my
the
gosh.
Yeah.
crowdfund
We're
Thank you
so
so
so,
much.
so
far.
Yeah.
grateful. Yes.
We just got over the 50% mark last
Yeah.
night, I think, and
Yeah.
Yes.
it's very exciting to see that roll in, and I think it's just a beautiful thing to witness when people come together in any form. Doesn't matter whether it's, $5 or $1,000. It's just beautiful to see people who are putting their dollars to something that's really that's truly creative, that's truly art, and it's what we need more of in this
Yes,
world.
that we want to see, that we want to
Hmm.
experience, that we all want to feel related to. We're making this film for all of us, for all of you. But I got to tell you, like we need your help. We need your
We
help.
Yes.
do. We do.
We may have surpassed that 51% mark, which is so exciting.
Hmm.
But we have, as we speak, probably 10, maybe 9 days to go as this comes to air.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And every single dollar counts. We would be so grateful and excited for you to come and be a part of our community, be a part of our team. Gemma, writer and lead actor, you are just going to absolutely adore watching this beautiful, complex woman on screen. I cannot wait for that. Beck, producer extraordinaire. I'm directing it. I'm so privileged and proud and excited to be a part of the creative team here. And we have a really exciting team that we're putting together as well. And we would love you to come and be a part of that community and help us make this film.
Hmm. And if you are not able to donate money, we also have opportunities for locations, for art department, for PAs on set. We would love to have you involved. So if you're interested in any of that and volunteering your time versus money, we're open. Slide into our
Do that.
DMs.
Yeah.
Anyone has a supermarket in Los Angeles that we
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
go
that's
to.
our biggest challenge right now. Exciting
Mhm.
challenge for us
Yeah.
to lots of cold calling about to happen.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we're making it happen. It's all coming together. Shooting in June.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Knock on
Hmm.
all the wood. Definitely shooting in June. And we're all very excited to make this and keep you updated on the journey.
Yes.
And thank you so much, Gemma, for bringing this to life and bringing this to us. And I'm so excited to make it.
Oh, guys, I couldn't be doing this without you. So thank you both so much for being on board. And yeah, I can't wait to share it with everyone. Can't wait to get it made. And, you know, just keep going, keep making art and yeah,
Also,
living our creative arcs.
shout out to all of the My Chemical Romance fans that I'm
Oh,
sure will
yes.
be
Yes.
tuning in here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
MCR Nation. Is that what they're called?
There's MCR Nation, there's I mean there's
We
yeah, a
love you.
bunch of different, fan
Can
groups.
we
They are
can you
the
tell us
most
why we're shouting out the MCR
Yes.
peeps, Gem?
sure, sure, yeah. So I'm lucky enough to play a character in the, MCR world. So I recently was performing as part of their South American tour, And it was just like the most incredible experience of my life. I can't
Coolest
describe
survival job of all time, am I right?
So
coolest
cool.
survival job of all time, sitting on a stage with like 60,000 people.
Oh,
Takes
Like
the cake.
it took the cake. I had the best seat in the house every night.
wow.
Um, it was the coolest experience of my life. It was so sick.
Oh,
So
it's
yeah,
so amazing. I
yeah.
literally live vicariously through
Uh,
all of your
Hmm.
stories. I
and I
wish
just
I could have come to that tour so bad.
I would have loved you to.
Yeah.
And also I just want to say, like, on creativity, firstly, like the stuff that My Chemical Romance is doing is so creative. Like they're truly
Mm,
just, I don't know, I'm in awe of them that, like, you know, every night was like a different show, and like they never stop kind of being curious about like how they can continue the story and all that kind of stuff. But then the MCR fans, their like creative output as a group
yeah.
is just unparalleled. Like the amount of art that I see like on the internet or
Yeah, they
comics
make
or
they make
like
really cool pictures of you.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh my God. I got some the other day, like and then I was like, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen.
So cool.
Like there's shout out to emo critters. There's these like incredible like critters that are made into like characters of like, you know, from the band and like the rest of the cast, and there's just so much that they're doing that is so inspiring and just makes me want to like go and live like a generally more creative life. Like it makes me
Mm.
want to like learn how to crochet. It makes me want to like learn how to draw. Like they're
Yeah.
all so amazing. I don't think I've ever really experienced a group of people like so committed to creativity like that before. And yeah, it's really, really cool.
That's amazing. So honestly, like come and follow us and check out Survival Job and but really like go follow Gemma. Like
Hmm.
watch all
Yeah.
her stories because the stuff that you post is amazing. It's so
Yeah.
cool. Seeing all the photos of you on stage in front of massive tens of thousands of people and you're in this badass costume. I mean, you are just the coolest thing.
We'll
Thanks.
link the
Um,
because you're in the music video, right? Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
in
yes.
we'll link it.
yeah, I'll link it. It's like a video for the last tour and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
so
sick.
Yeah.
cool.
It's really
Never
sick.
seen a more badass human, honestly. You kind of
Hmm.
give like Uma Thurman,
Oh,
like Kill Bill Uma Thurman. It's
Totally.
that like
I'll take it.
smoldering,
Oh yeah,
you
the kind
know,
of
oh, that
I've got to
face.
say the costume that I get to wear is so transformative. I'm
Yeah.
a big believer in working outside in,
Yeah. Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
and the costume is just so helpful to help me get into that part of myself because I have that inside me, but it was funny when we were rehearsing, one of the guys in the crew said to me like, what's it like to play a character who's so different to you? And I was like, yeah, like I hadn't really thought about it. She is different to me, but I also have that inside me. But
Mm-hmm.
having this costume is just like it absolutely like allows me to access that part of myself, which
Mm.
is so cool. So yeah,
So good.
it's
So
the
good.
best.
Shout out to all the MCR fans that have
Hmm.
also already contributed. I feel like, a lot of cool fans have
Oh
come out
yeah.
and like been involved. So thank you guys.
And they're all like
Um,
sharing my stories when I post
yeah,
about Survival Job. Like it's the support is really incredible. So yeah, thank you all so
so
much.
cool.
Yeah.
Um, uh, that's it. Like, wow, I've loved this conversation so much. I love you guys.
We really crushed it, guys.
Yeah, nailed it, nailed it. Yeah. Gemma, thank you for joining us today.
Hmm.
Thank you.
What an honor to have you on the podcast and share about this film. I'm so excited to make it and direct it and edit it and just like be absorbed in the survival job world for the
Hmm.
next
Yeah, same.
however long I get to do
Yeah.
this.
I'm so
Yeah,
excited to get on set with you guys.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be a
Yeah.
blast. It's gonna be
Yeah.
so fun. Thank you everyone for listening.
Yes.
Another
Another
week
week.
done.
Like, subscribe, do the things. It makes such a big difference for us.
Hmm.
And check out Survival Job. If you can donate, we would love that. We're so grateful for that. If you can't donate but can share, but you want to reach out, whatever it is, like just feel free to be a part of it. Part of the team, a part of it, part of
Just
the
be a part of
team,
it.
a part of it. Just do it.
They're part of
Like call to action, right?
Yeah, we'll link everything in the show notes. You can easily find it. Follow us on Instagram at Izzy at Indie Spunk.
At Izzy
Un
Spunk,
at
yeah.
Izzy
at
Spunk.
Indie Spunk Unfiltered. right?
That's it. Yeah,
That's
that's it.
it.
That's it. That's our Instagram handle. And have a great rest of your week. Be well, be lovely to yourself. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.